Hey, the fellow travelers, Mark here with Wolters World, and today we're here back with a live feed this Saturday morning. I'm busy putting together a bunch of Greek videos for Greek Week coming up here. So we'll have the shocks of Greece and what else we have, like what to know before you go, and all kinds of other little Greek videos we have. So I'm going to put those out this week. But doing all that, I'm going to do a live feed this morning because we haven't had one. I didn't realize we haven't done a live feed for about 4 weeks, and I was like, whoa. We usually do these like every other week or so, but I'm sorry I missed out and did not get you one here on Wolters World. So we are back. And so Furkan, actually, I have you on my questions to answer I saw before, and he's asking, when are we going to visit Turkey? Actually, we're going to be going there next summer. We're scheduling out our summer plans right now. I have a teaching gig I'm going to be doing, teaching some social media marketing. And while I'm teaching that, we have some free time. And so we're going to go visit Turkey, Egypt. Where else we're going to go? We have a wedding to go to in Europe, so we have a packed summer coming up, so we're doing that. But we're also looking at some stuff for the spring as our first half of 2020's travel stuff is really starting to fill up, so kind of exciting. But we had some really good questions that kind of came up on the feed before we got started. One I really want to talk about from BIM. They asked, will my Facebook and Instagram work when I'm in Beijing? If you do not have a VPN, a virtual private network, it will not. If you have a VPN, which you can get, like there's NordVPN, there's all kinds of ones. They've asked to sponsor some of our videos before, but I haven't done it yet. But you can get, because I have my own VPNs from other stuff. You're going to need that to be able to mask your signal so it shows that it'll actually work. That's the same way you could watch YouTube, because if you don't have a VPN, YouTube won't go through, Facebook won't go through, Instagram won't go through. So make sure you do have that, okay? So I hope that helps you out. Deathlock with the, hold on, I want to make sure. Death Clock Crocs Rocks 14. You're in New York City. I'm glad you're having a good time. Got some good stuff in. I'd say if you got 1 day left, why not hit the museums that are by each other? You got the Met, which is on one side of Central Park, and then you still see those with the Egyptian stuff and the art, and then walk across, see some of Central Park, and go to the other side. We have the Natural History Museum, see the dinosaurs and all the other stuff. So that'd be a nice little thing that's all kind of really close together, or relatively close together, so that could be something for you, okay? And let's see. So that was the question I want to get to first because they were up on there. Ryan Johnson, what are some good Europe destinations for a budget 18-year-old? I think Spain is a good one. Portugal is a good one because it's relatively safe. It's easy to get around. They have the infrastructure for tourism. It's relatively cheap because at 18, I'm guessing you're not like just money's not just raining down from the skies for you. So there's something there for that. All the people that said such nice things. There's so many comments on here that are so nice about our stuff and how we're helping out. I really appreciate that. Thank you very much. So, Angela Heston, I've just started watching your vlogs. Thank you very much. I'm going to my first long-haul flight from Edinburgh to JFK, then on to Cancun. Is 3 hours okay to get my Connect flight? Yes, it is. JFK can be kind of a pain when you get in. So, like, get off your flight. Like, what I would do is, like when they're like, "Hey, we're getting ready to land. We're starting our descent. Go to the bathroom then. Like go pee and all that stuff on the plane. So when it's time to get off, you can get off and just go get to passport control and get through there. Because sometimes it takes a little bit longer there for passport control, but 3 hours you should be fine. We just flew there. I flew through there in August, and it took us like an hour to get through all that stuff. But then we just came back from France, and our friends we went with, they flew back through JFK, and it only took them 20 minutes. So you should be okay, but just, stay focused, but get that peeing out of the way first so you don't have anything that can pull you off track, okay? On Surma, what museums are good for a first trip to DC? The Air and Space Museum is probably the biggest one out there that people really enjoy. That would be the one I'd say go for a big one. John Ducathoro, hey, my buddy in Amsterdam, good to hear about it. Faring Travels, your carbon footprint must be huge. Are you concerned about this? Yeah, I'm concerned about my carbon footprint. That is one of the big issues with travel. But the thing is are people going to stay in their house and never leave their house? I mean, that's one thing you have to be realistic with the carbon footprint stuff is if you choose the right places to go, you actually have a smaller carbon footprint. Because think about it, if you go on a vacation, it kind of sucks. You're like, well, we need to do another trip this year because that wasn't really fun. And then you're flying more. So it's better to find out as much as you can about the place you want to go so you make the right choices for the places you're going to go. And that can actually help reduce your carbon footprint because you're traveling less. And one of the things we're doing is we're helping people choose the right places to travel. So therefore, Our comfort is pretty high. I'm not going to lie to you about that. But the thing is how many people we help choose the right destination so they're not wasting their carbon footprint on a trip that isn't worth it, and then they go on more trips and stuff like that. So there's things that we do to be more sustainable, and actually we have a new shop that's coming out, a new store coming out for Wolters World. We're going to have more things to help travelers be more sustainable, from reusable water bottles to reusable bags like the Ziploc bags and stuff like that. You can use again and again. They're biodegradable. We have all kinds of stuff coming out to help us be better sustainable travelers, because it is an issue that is out there, especially when people think about over tourism and stuff like that. But I mean, if you're going to say, oh, go take a boat instead of a plane, spend 10 days on a ship instead of like 10 hours in a plane. Well, is it really better for the environment? I mean, these are like serious issues that you have to think about. So there is that. Jamie, are you still using the Meridian 22 by Osprey? Yep, we still have those. Do not worry about that. Hey, Pink Pearl Disney Wishes, good to see you. Kieran, Anna, good morning. Good to see you all. Barry Diaz, any suggestions for Tokyo in 2020? How's the weather in there? Well, it depends what time of the year you're going to go to Tokyo. You can have really hot summers, and you can have some snow in the winters. It's a really great place to go. If you can go to some of the stuff for the Olympics, it's going to be a really fun time. Baton Rouge, my buddies, good to see you. Anna Munoz, is this a good time to visit Barcelona? Yes, it is, because you still have pretty nice weather in October. And you don't have you have a fraction of the summer tourism and Christmas time tourism there, so you should be okay. Nico, I have never been to Miami, so I cannot help you out there. I'm sorry, buddy. Rose Court, recommendations for New York City in December. You don't want to go see the lights, Rockefeller Center, and you can go the ice skating and stuff like that. It's more window shopping and looking at the lights and just enjoying everything when you're there. Daniel Joe, thank you. I'm glad that our advice on Copenhagen could help you out. That's really great to hear. Jimmy UK, hey Mark, what's up? Planning about trip to Egypt? Yes, we are. When I can get enough room on our credit card to buy the tickets, we will be buying. Our next set of tickets we're buying is to Egypt for next summer. So we're getting that stuff ready to set up. So we'll have a lot of the usual tourist stuff. We'll get to Giza and Cairo and Luxor and stuff like that. And we're just trying to figure out our other destinations first. So we're going to do those things. Luigi and Daisy movie. You should make a video about traveling to Moscow. We will get there. Don't you worry about that. Miss Rhea, overrated European cities. Pisa is way overrated. Brussels is way overrated. You have that. And actually, we have a new series. I filmed the first video about overrated sites in different places. So I've only filmed the first video. We haven't edited it yet or anything like that, but we filmed overrated Paris. And I love Paris, but I can talk about some of the stuff that's overrated. So we're going to go through either if it's a big city, we'll have like overrated sites, or if it's a country, some overrated things about it. So it's a new series. I only have one video up so far, and I'm trying to test out some stuff. So that'll be coming out probably next month. Is it possible to rent a car in the USA for an 18-year-old? I know that it's usually have to be 25 to rent a car, no problem. If there is, you have to look, and they're going to charge you a huge overage charge for that, if they'll let you do that. It's really tough to say. I'm a bit past 18, so sorry I don't have the exact answer for that one. But you can look online on their terms of service, and it'll tell you. Def Leppard rules rock. Thanks, buddy. Thanks to you on the island of Zakynthos in Greece. I have not been there, my friend. I do apologize, but I'm going to guess, as it's a Greek island, you have beach, party, drinking, eating. Repeat. Sleep isn't in there, okay? So you have a good time when you are there. But I have not been to that island, so I can't give you any personal recommendations. I'm sorry, buddy. Ron Kramer, glad to hear you like Scotland. Good. McGoddess in Denver, good to see you. Michael Mann, my buddy, good to see you, buddy. Nice to see you up this early in the morning. Let's see. So, Pink Pearl Disney Wishes. I have been getting a ton of conflicting statements. Is Brazil safe to travel around? I want to enter a contest by the tourism board, but comments keep yelling at me. Look, Brazil has issues, okay? Rio has issues. But if you're going to a place like Minas Gerais, you're probably going to be okay. I'll go back there, no problem. We were in Brazil this year? Last year, this year, 2 years before that. We go to Brazil relatively often. And yeah, there are issues, but we hadn't had a problem. But that's not saying there aren't problems. Like, maybe if you're going to go, you go to the Minas Gerais region, or you go to the Pantanal or something like that. So do have a heads up. And you're never going to, I have a lot of videos on safety in Brazil that you should check out to give you some honest input. Because Here's the thing: is whenever I do a don't video, there already comments saying "Don't go there." Oh, the don'ts of the U.S. Don't go there. The don'ts of Rwanda. Don't go there. Don't Italy. Don't go there. I'm like, come on, people. That's not really realistic. It's because you have people that are just going to be mean about things. So there are issues. Pink pearly Disney wishes, and I would suggest watching our videos to give you some insight. But like Rio is going to be your biggest issue when you are there. Let's see. Hi, Mark. Do you know any vegan food options in France? You can just ask. The French are cool with that. They'll help you make the right choices on your food, so it's not a big deal. So that would be something to look at. Nader1, Caleb, especially Liam, is growing up too fast. I agree, they're growing up too fast. Now I have so many videos, and like I'm putting together a Greece video. We've been to Greece a lot of times, so I have pictures from before I was with Jocelyn, and then I have pictures from like it was just. It was Jocelyn and Caleb and me, and then Liam's a little tiny baby, and then I got more pictures and videos when like Liam's a bit, he's like 7 or 8 or something like that, and I'm like, oh man. So like I'm putting together the Shocks of Greece video right now. Like that's what I was editing before I started this, and it was just like, oh man, like got me right here. They're getting so big. So it is pretty funny. It's nice because when you have all these pictures nowadays, it's on your phone. You never ever look at them. That's one of the nice things when I make these videos is I get to see those pictures again in the videos, and it's like, oh, it kind of gives you a throwback. So that's kind of nice. Mark Solis, are you guys going to make videos on less traveled 2 cities in the U.S.? Yes, we're actually going to be starting a series on like small town travel and things like that in the U.S. Next year. We're working on destinations and all kinds of stuff, so we can get those things started. So we're working on that. So there will be some of those coming. Let's see.
Good morning.
Oh, Jocelyn's here. If you didn't notice, that's her right there. She's pretty special. You can scoot up if you like. Or scoot back.
I'm tired.
I'm tired.
I'll engage at some point.
There you go. Let's see. I'm scrolling back through because, as you know, what you see over here is not what we see on our screen because ours gets like stuck and stuff like that. So there is that. Luigi and Daisy movie. Hey, I'm glad you've been subscribed for a few months. That's really nice of you. Candace. I like your down-to-earth advice. There's so much floweriness in travel blogs, usually combined with Insta poses and drama at every bug or grain of dirt. Nice to see real people for a change. That is actually one of the reasons why we do what we do, because I am so tired of Instagram perfect filter shots that are unrealistic for actual travelers. They're like, oh yes, we're gonna have this. Like, whenever I see the Great Wall of China empty, I'm like, you will never, ever have that. That is not a real thing. And then it gives people the wrong impression. I mean, we're never going to get like tons of sponsorships or stuff like that because we're not, the prettiest of the pretty, and our pictures aren't the best of the best. But I think we're the most realistic of the realistic, which is what we want to help people travel better. So how can you travel better if you don't have good advice? And if we're making everything perfect, like there are no issues in Brazil, there are no issues in the US, there are no issues in Germany, which isn't true. You need to know the good and the bad, and that's what we kind of go for. So Candace, I really appreciate that really kind comment there.
Erica asks, going to Rome in March, the last week of. I was wondering if you could tell me what to expect weather-wise. Spring, dress in layers, like tank top, blouse, some kind of shirt, have a cardigan, and maybe a jacket in the morning. But it'd be nice if that jacket was something you could squish down really small and put it in your, like, whatever bag you're carrying for the day. But, 65, maybe 70 during the day. It just sort of depends. It feels like lately spring has come earlier in Europe and later in the US. Mm-hmm. So, I don't know that I can give you a perfect answer, but if you just dress in layers, you'll be pretty good.
And one thing I would say, this is one thing we always do. We do like about a few days out, we will do the 10-day forecast because, you can look on weather.com and get the historic averages. But like when you're like 2 or 3 days out from your trip, look at that 10-day forecast, and then it gives you the final okay, there's a rainstorm coming, or they're having a cold spell, or they're having a hot spell. Maybe I do throw in a pair of shorts, and realize that things do change. Like we were just in France last week, and when we left, all the things were like it was going to be like 50s, maybe gets to 60s. Then the trip ends up having it in 70, 75. And
only the last couple days in Paris, though.
Yeah, and the kids are like, do we have any shorts? I'm like, no, because I thought it might snow. I mean, it looked kind of chilly.
Yeah.
So there's a certain someone on here that's taking their wife for a Christmas gift to Barcelona. We won't name names in case their lovely friend is watching. They asked me what's the best area to stay in. They're thinking the Barrio Gotico, the Gothic Quarter. I would say that's okay, but it's got a lot more tourism. If you just go a little bit farther over to the El Born district, there's a lot more kava bars there. That's a little more chilled out. I like staying there when we go there.
Joseph asks, stop spit.
I can't help
Something, he just said, I think it was Athens in August. So Rob's on there. Yeah, it's going to be blazing hot. So my first tip is dress in cool, light clothing and carry your reusable bottle of water and be prepared for that. But do like the Acropolis and things as early as you possibly can in the morning because it's blasted hot and there's ridiculous amounts of people. And there's really no coverage up there, or even really on the way up. There's like very little tree coverage, so there's no shade.
Hat with the thing.
Yeah, and because everything's white, it's like it's all reflecting the sunlight. So hat, sunscreen, those are important. And I love the National Museum.
Yeah. So Vuk Kovacevic. I'm sorry.
I can't.
Have you been to Serbia? No, we haven't, but we are looking into it. There's that. Our buddy Rob from Trickhouse DC, going back to the Instagram kind of comments. Totally agree about Instagram. Every time I see a photo of the Lincoln Memorial with no people in it, I know it's Photoshop, but unfortunately many do not. And that's the thing. That's where I get kind of not upset, but like it's disappointed, irritated when I see all these the travel Instagrammers and stuff like that. They show this like perfect setting that doesn't exist, and then people go and they're really disappointed. That's why you'll see like, oh, that was so overrated because there's so many people or stuff like that. I'm like, what you saw on Instagram was filtered. They picked things out. They eliminated the people. It's not like they just took the picture and go. There's no filter. So that's one of those things you got to think about. Wait, we just jumped again. It's jumping around. All right, hold on. Okay, Eric Brown, thank you very much for the super chat. Traveling to multi-European cities, do I need to go through customs at each airport? No, you do not. Well, it depends which cities you're going to go into. Schengen. So if you're coming from the U.S., if you're flying into, let's say you're going to France, and then you connect in France, you go to Germany, that's all in the Schengen area. So you'll go and you'll check your bags from the U.S. to your end destination. Let's say it's Munich, right? And so you'll fly to Paris. At Paris, you'll go and do customs as in your passport, but you won't get your bags. They'll be at the last stop waiting for you, but you will go through customs that first one through there. Now, if let's say during your trip, you're like, okay, I've already got to Munich. I'm doing my stuff here. Now I'm going to fly into Copenhagen. You'll get on a plane in Munich to fly to Copenhagen. There's no passport control there because you're all within that Schengen agreement. Now, if you fly to like Russia or if you fly to the UK, then you will have to get your passport stamped again on those parts, okay? But like once you get into Schengen and it's another Schengen country, you do not have the passport controls. Any ideas?
Luigi and Daisy movie has asked a couple times about more London videos. You have
we have like thousands.
Lots. You dozens. Might have to like
search back because we have don'ts of London, tips of London, shocks of London. I'll be filming mistakes of London in February, and I'm back there again this year, so there'll be more comments. Don't you worry about that. John Carpet, any update on African trips? Yeah, we just were in Rwanda and Tanzania. There's a bunch of videos that we have out online for that, so you want to check out those things. We're going back to North Africa next year to Egypt, so we'll have some more videos from there to help out. Markovitz, is there a lot of cannabis in Prague even though it's illegal? There's a lot of cannabis anywhere, even if it's illegal, so that's not just a different thing for there. Let's see. Furkan's back. My buddy asked about Turkey before. Would you like to visit Cuba? Yes, we would. We actually were looking to go, but then they changed requirements when we were, and so we could find places like, no, it's just the two of us could go, but I'm like, no, we want to take the kids there, so we have that.
The kids couldn't come, and then there was a thing about we had to be like on a very scheduled thing with
and it wouldn't give us a chance
and a bunch of people.
Yeah, and it wasn't going to allow us to do what we wanted to do, so we weren't going to spend that kind of money because we have limited funds, and so like because we've tried to expand out into more exotic destinations like Rwanda, Tanzania, and stuff like this, and the prices have gone up, and Cuba's another one of these pricier ones. It's like for that kind of money we can do a lot of other stuff, so that has kind of gone off to the side at least for now. Dead of winter in London advice for those who don't drink. So Dusty Buns, actually London has a lot of fantastic free museums you can actually go to, from the Tate Modern, the British Museum. You have plenty of things you can do inside. And the thing is, it's not really snowy. It's just a little rainy and damp when you're there. So it's not that different than other types because the Gulf Stream goes by through there. So it keeps it relatively warm in the winter. So you'll be okay. Don't worry.
Tony Cruz, thank you for being a new subscriber.
And thank you for liking the things. And
yeah.
we don't, not this one. This one isn't coming out, but we have a new shop that's coming out. It was supposed to come out this week, but it is, hopefully it'll come out next week, where you can get the quarter zips and the shirts, but also some sustainable stuff. Like we're still trying out the different kind of biodegradable plastic reusable bags people can use for their TSA things and stuff like that. So we're working on those. So, and there will be occasionally fun stuff like the Italian quarter zips and stuff like that.
Hang on, Sean Forey. Hey there from South Africa. I'm traveling to Germany, Cologne, for the first time in December. Do you have anything to say about Cologne?
Okay, so Cologne got wiped out during the war except for the cathedral, okay? So don't expect to see any like old world Germany when you're in Cologne. What you want to do is if you want to go up the cathedral, that's still like legit. They did not bomb that during the war. Go up there, that's really cool. There's a museum right next to it that has like Roman relics from because Cologne was part of, like there's a lot of Romans there at the time. You can go for a little day trip over to Bonn to get there's some good museums there. But you can go and see some of the smaller towns around there. You can take like a boat tour down to Koblenz or something like that, and you can do some other winery tours and stuff from there. So that would be some stuff I'd recommend you do. But if you're there in December, you're gonna have Christmas markets everywhere, so that's gonna be a really good time.
Zaid is asking about the Yucatan Peninsula in November and what the weather's like. I
would say, look, like we always said,
rainy season, isn't it?
It's the end of the rainy season, and it's the end of the rainy season. It's the end of hurricane season. Like any of the ones we always say is look on weather.com. See their historical things, what they usually have there, and then do your 10 days out forecast kind of stuff. But like for there, I mean, if you're looking at towards the end of November, you're usually okay. But I mean, it's the weather, so it's hard to really say. Agnieszka is going to Vegas in 2 weeks in November. Which day trips would you recommend?
The Hoover Dam.
You can do the Hoover Dam, but rent your own car. Don't do the stupid bus one because you get stuck on those buses and they bus you to another bus to get another bus to go there. Just drive on your own to do that. There's some hikes you can do. What's the Red Cliffs? No.
Red Rocks.
Red Rocks. You have that. You can go up to Reno. You can go the Grand Canyon's a little bit. It's kind of a little farther, but you can still do that. So there's plenty of stuff to do. We actually have some day trip Vegas videos that can help you out if you look it up. Just look up Vegas Wolters World. They'll pop up on YouTube. Favorite destination? I love Brazil. I love Italy. I love France. I love anywhere she is. So I have a lot of favorite destinations.
Hi, Rob.
Let's see.
Say good morning to me. It is morning.
Luigi and Daisy, could you make London? I've never had this many questions about London. Could you make another video explaining about traveling to London? I've been to London a long time ago. You mean like flying to it or traveling around it? If you're going around, the tube's your best way to go and get what's called an Oyster card because it'll make your trips on the metro or on the tube, the subway, a lot cheaper. Just so you know that. Dean Nagara, would you like to go to Chengdu? I got invited to go to Chengdu by the Tourism Board of China, I don't know, a couple of years ago. And I was really looking into it. But when they wanted me to go was during the school year when I couldn't go. So I wrote them, like, look, I can't go this time. Can we do another time? And they were like, no. I'm like, okay. So we didn't get over there for that. But I'd go over there because there's so much stuff that's made there. For me as a business professor, I think it'd be interesting to see that community because I talk about in my class how much stuff is made in Chengdu. And my students are like, what's Chengdu? I'm like, it's a very important city for your life because your devices, a lot of them are made there. So it's kind of an interesting thing. Let's see. Michael Mann.
Michael's on. Good morning.
I have no...
Where'd it go?
I know our thing freezes up all the time, so I apologize. Michael Mann, thank you, buddy, for the super chat. Just returned from a great trip to Paris and London. And how did we not see you? We were just in Paris this weekend, or last weekend.
Shut the front door.
One of those travel routes.
Too. Can you hear it?
Let me read his thing, Jocelyn. She's the worst. My God. Yes, well, anyway. Just returned from a great trip to Paris and London. One of those travel realities that sometimes you get sick. Had to switch into survival mode to get home. Everyone on Delta Airlines was great. Yes, Delta's awesome. And yes, you do get sick when you travel sometimes. I actually put a tweet out while we were there because, I was sick. Jocelyn was sick. The boys were still okay, but we're like, they're going to get sick. Our friends we were with had gotten sick. And we're like, look, sometimes you forget a bag at a train station. Sometimes you get sick. Sometimes there's no way around it.
Sometimes you can't get train tickets.
Sometimes you can't get train tickets, so you end up staying at a hotel because the stupid app that they won't.
9:30.
Yeah, and the room isn't ready. I mean, these things happen, and it's just the way it is. Like, you can't let it ruin your trip. You just let it roll with it. So
it's a memory.
Yes,
it's always a memory.
All right. Oh, my thing is frozen again. There we go. Def Leppard Rock rules. Thank you, buddy. Any plans for Australia, New Zealand in the future? We are looking there for Christmas next year. That's our penciled in. It's not pinned in. It's penciled in for next December, January. So we have that. Points, travel, happiness. Thank you very much for the super chat. Wow, that's the biggest super chat we've ever got. Wow, thank you. That's very nice.
Very nice of you.
Yeah. What is your airline strategy? Do you stick with one airline to gain status? How many miles do you accumulate each year? Approximately. Thanks for the Paris vlog. I love watching the day in the life of travel. Thank you very much. I'm glad you liked it. For those who don't know, we've actually tried to do a few vlogs lately because people have asked so much. We have one of just Jocelyn and I going to Santa Fe, like on our travel day. We have one coming back from Paris here to the U.S. You have that. We did another one in France, taking the trains so people can see what it's like taking the trains there. So that's coming. Then I have another vlog from Greece coming out that's like, here's kind of the place we stay at and stuff like that. But our airline strategy, years ago, it used to be we would always fly United to get the status because it was based near us in Chicago and stuff like that. But then they started treating us like garbage, and I'm like, you know what? I'm not gonna.
It's hard to get status with them.
Yeah, and it got hard to get status with them, and they would screw us over, and I'm like, and so years and years and years ago, we had some pretty bad experiences with Delta, so we had not used Delta for years.
It was more than a decade ago.
Yeah, and we didn't use them for 6 years. And then we want to go to Iceland, and there's a deal with Delta. I'm like, well, we'll give them a shot. Maybe things have gotten better. And they were so wonderful on it. And they even lost our luggage, but they were so wonderful how they lost our luggage that we're like, yeah, these guys are pretty nice.
Well, they lost our luggage because
we had delays.
It was at JFK. There were issues at JFK, and so we actually had to run to our gate. But you know what they did? They were like, okay, these people have to go. So they pulled off everybody, and they pulled us to the front door and let us all off first, called ahead and asked them to hold the next plane for us.
But the thing,
always happen like that.
Because that was part of it. But then we ran our butts to get there, and they closed the door, and we're like, oh, I remember I was carrying Liam, and because we were wearing the heavy boots to go because we're going hiking, and we're carrying it, and we're like, oh man, they closed it. But then they called up because there's so many planes that had gotten delayed for this Iceland flight that they reopened the gate and let us through. But it was a really nice thing. And then so we started to use them more, and then we had a horrible experience with United, just horrible, just.
My blood boils every time I think about it.
And I'm talking about the Costa Rica one.
Oh, I was talking about
your one.
The time they slammed the door shut in my face and no one said I'm sorry.
Yeah, that was kind of rude.
They went on and on and on, and my middle finger is itching to stand up.
Yeah, it was really bad. And then because when I was trying to be nice when we talked to them about it, but they were just total jerks about it. And that was during their United likes to beat the crap out of their clients time when all that stuff was going on. So I'm like, so we stopped using them. And then actually we got so upset that all the hundreds of thousands of miles we had with United, I ended up just buying gift cards and stuff like that to give to other people. So I'm like, Merry Christmas here. Because we wouldn't fly them anymore.
We didn't even want to use the hundreds of thousands of miles. So that is our airline strategy.
No, but anyway, so now we use Delta all the time to get the status. We'll pay that because we can get upgraded and stuff like that. So we don't pay for upgrades. We never pay for upgrades. We just get the upgrades because we have the status. So sorry, long answer to short question. Anyway, the Iggy Show. Thank you very much. Love the love. That's very nice. Jennifer Olson, United is rolling out some bad changes to getting status in 2020. Yeah, then other airlines are too, because a lot of people have been using credit cards to get bonuses, and they're changing some of those credit card bonuses that you signed up for, and they might be changing. So make sure you check and see if that credit card you have still has those same benefits, because sometimes what they're trying to do is they're trying to push you to a higher
a premium card.
A premium card that you pay $500 a year for. And they're like, that's the only way you're going to get your stuff. And you're like, whoa, is it really worth it? Because status is nice, but if it's going to be $400 more per ticket, that's $1,600 for the four of us. I will fly another airline, because there's a certain price point where you just can't afford it. Mm-hmm. So Robert Reidling, thanks, buddy, for the super chat. I appreciate it. Thanks so much for all you do to help travelers. Any thoughts on a couple of days in Lille, France? Thanks again. So Lille is nice. ish. It's very industrial. I mean, there's some nice stuff to see there when you're there. But if you can kind of like use that as a base to go out and see, because you can really get to like a little Belgian village or a French village like on near the Belgian border. There's some nice stuff there. I would do that if you want to use Lille as your base. But you might look for like a small village and just have a nice little weekend. Because if you're super chatting in pounds, thank you very much. That might be something you want to look into because you can just take the channel over or the Eurostore over, whatever, and hop out there and you can get relatively close, so it's not a big deal.
Jason G asks, good place to take 5-year-olds in Paris to entertain them. So last Sunday, we spent 4 hours at Parc Monceau, and our kids just had a ball. I mean, there's other kids there to play with. That was their favorite thing about their trip. There's stuff to do. They can run. There's other things. And then also at the base of the Eiffel Tower, if you're facing the tower with the river to your back, the back right leg has a tiny little playground, and our kids have been going there for
years,
decade maybe. A decade.
Yeah.
And there's also a little kiosk where you can get like food and drink and stuff. So that's another place. So that once you get through that craziness of the Eiffel Tower, you've got a nice place to go.
And the thing is, if you don't want to go up and the other people are going to go through security to go up there, it's a place where you can have like a little meeting spot. And not a lot of people go there for some reason because it's kind of hidden.
Yeah.
Rob, my buddy from Trip Hacks DC. Thanks, buddy, for the super chat. Curious if you have any favorite travel podcasts. Which ones have you been on guests on so we can go back and listen? So I've been on, 5 or 6 podcasts. I know I've been on Chubby and Away. They're for fluffy travelers. I've been on their Travel Man podcast. We had a good time. We talked for like 2 hours. And he's like, oh, it's going to be like a 45-minute one. We just went on. That was a really fun one. I think that's a good one to check out. And then we've been on some other ones. It's funny because I'll do pod. I don't know. Have you done any podcasts? Mm-mm. I've done quite a few. And there's been, when I did the Travel Man podcast, I'm like, hey, dude, look, make sure you share the link with me so I can let people know to watch this so we can, go through that. And I can listen too. And he's like, well, of course I do that. Like, no, dude, you'd be surprised how many podcasts I've done. And people never, ever, ever told me when it came out. And I found out like months later, a buddy of mine contacted me. He's like, oh yeah, I listened to your podcast with blah, blah, blah. I'm like, oh, that came out. Oh yeah, it came out like a month ago. I got the old one. I'm like, really? So yeah. But Travel Man podcast is a good one.
The Traveler. Having done both, do you prefer to be a solo traveler or with your family? Which one is more rewarding, do you think?
Family for me.
Absolutely for me too. I mean, I enjoy it when it's just me or my girlfriends or just me and Mark, but it is so much more rewarding when it's all of us. And also, I miss my family.
Because I'm so wonderful. Big Cow 2002. Thank you very much for the super chat, my friend. Have you ever been to Australia or New Zealand? I was an exchange student in Australia back when I was in high school. I have not been in New Zealand, but we're looking to go for Christmas, not this year, but next year. So have 2 summers next year. So that'd be kind of nice.
Michael somebody was asking if we were going to make any more national park videos.
Yes, I just
started one.
Well, after I finished the Greek stuff, because we promised a lot of Peru, Greece, and Spain videos, and I'm trying to make a big push for that for the end of the month. So in November, beginning of December, we will have the don'ts of the National Park Service, which we did with our friends Grant and Bonnie from A Wanderfield Life. So we have a little collab that'll go on coming out. So there will be those things coming, my friend.
The Obsolete Geek asks if you have been to Bolivia.
Yes, I've been to Bolivia 20 years ago. I backpacked when I was second time I was backpacking in South America. I can't remember. And anyway, but Bolivia was super cheap.
Sans Jocelyn.
Yes, it was Sans Jocelyn, so I don't remember those times. It was a worthless time of my life without her. That's right, yes. But it was a nice experience. There's some really cool sights to see there, but the best for me was going to Salar de Uyuni, those salt flats in the south. That was really, really cool. Someone had made a comment that they didn't think we'd gone to the southeast of the U.S. We have tons of South videos from the U.S. people,
really?
Tons.
Lots of time down there,
yeah. Anyway, M39 fan. I've never been to Curacao, so I can't tell you anything because you've had a lot of things like that. Euro Viper 3. I've been to Liechtenstein. It was literally 4 months before I started Wolters World, so I have not been back since. But we might go there this next summer so the kids can see it.
The person who asked the question about 5-year-olds in Paris also asked.
Scott. Hey, Scott.
Also asked if you need booster seats to Uber with them. No, not at 5 usually. we used to, the boys are big enough now, I don't have to worry about it, but we used to carry something called a bubble bum, and it is a blow up car seat. It's just a little booster, and it has a thing for the lap belt and to hook the shoulder belt up. So you might want to look into that because it blows up and you can flatten it down pretty good, and you can keep it in a backpack or a cinch sack or whatever.
Yeah, that was like a go-to for us for a long time. Because like if you're in
backup,
in Germany, they're like very much like, no, you've got to.
Oh yeah.
No pun included, my buddy. Go check out his channel if you want to learn about gaming, well, like board gaming and stuff like that. Advice on traveling with a dog, please. What's the dog-friendliest airline? How do you find dog-friendly hotels? I'm doing good, buddy. I love seeing your Instagram posts and your YouTube videos. So, traveling with a dog is not always easy, especially if it's not like some people have it as a support dog and things like that. And airlines are cracking down, especially on long-haul flights. If you're looking for dog-friendly hotels, go on TripAdvisor. And I'm not saying TripAdvisor reviews are the greatest, buddy. But what you're going to do is you filter for pet-friendly hotels, and then you can find it that way. Now, if you're coming to the U.S., like if you're going to Indianapolis for the Gen Con again, there's tons in the U.S. There's a whole industry for it. But in Europe, there's not as many, and you don't have as many of a big dog, especially if it's a big dog. I can't remember. You have like a medium-sized, smaller dog, so those are a little bit easier to find destinations for. So, say hi to your wife for me. I'm really happy to see you on here, buddy. Good to see you. See how smiling I am. We used to drink a lot back in the day, and we in Lithuania and stuff. Anyway.
Oh, a Lithuanian friend.
Yes,
hey.
True friend, man. True friend. Okay, so happy to see that. Michael Mann. Let's see. Good to see you, buddy. Let's see. You want to pick one out? No.
I had one, but it zipped by, and it was.
Okay. Nico meant southeastern countries. Gotcha.
Oh.
Okay. Yeah. I was like, what?
We've been to the Southeast a lot. So like Southeast Asia, we want to go.
Like we were set to go. We were like buying tickets on Monday, and then we got a call on Sunday that my family that I live with in Brazil, their son who lived with my family in the U.S. as well, was getting married, and it's like they got engaged on Saturday, and they told his mom on Sunday, and they're like, you have to tell Mark right now so he can be here for it. And I'm like, they called and told us the next day, and then it was like, oh. Well, I guess there goes Southeast Asia because it was like right in the summer, so we couldn't go before or after. So,
and it's a little difficult to get that far during decent weather when the kids are also out of school. So it takes some finagling for us, you know. Things keep going by. Any favorite Caribbean destinations? So I've been to the Caribbean a little bit more than Mark has because I did some of that before him. But you know what? I love Jamaica. I loved the people. We booked, my friend's family owns a tour company there, so they're locals. So our driver, Michael, became like family to us, and he took us all over the place, and we saw some stuff that was like off the beaten path, like the Blue Hole, and I don't know what we went, and we did all the stuff with Bob Marley's house, and we went to Trenchtown, and we had a great time.
Yeah.
People were awesome to our kids. I mean, the food. Oh,
yeah, and the thing is, I see like people getting upset at Jamaica because I feel like people are like over the top or over like pressury. But remember, that's how there's no social system there that's going to help. They have to they eat what they kill kind of stuff, so they have to make money. So if you treat people with respect there, like I'm always like, hey man, thank you very much, have a great day, good to see you. I already got something, I'm good, but you know what? Have a good day for you. Like respect, fist pump, we're all good. So there is that.
There was a lot of that.
Yeah. And someone was asking me, been to Beijing? Yes, we do have a bunch of Beijing videos. I taught there for a whole summer a few years ago. It was I liked it. Jocelyn liked Shanghai better. But I also was working, and she was taking out and exploring the city with the kids all the time. So
by myself.
Yuval, must-see sites in Chicago. The Art Institute of Chicago, one of the best art museums in the U.S.
Absolutely.
The Field Museum, really great natural history museum. The Museum of Science and Industry is awesome. Just walking up and down, the Michigan Avenue. You can go up the Hancock Building. I recommend going up the Hancock. Go to the bar there because it's free and you can have a drink with decent prices versus going to the Sears Tower, going up there and paying a buttload of money to go do that.
Tanya Collier. Hi, Mark and Jocelyn. I'm from Australia, going to Las Vegas
Cool.
Flying United. Any tips for first timers? Stay hydrated on that flight because it's going to be long.
Yeah, it is a long one. Anytime they walk by with the water, I always say that, especially that one. Also, every couple hours, like just get up and walk around. Like we'll go by where the bathrooms are. There's usually like a little extra space. And we'll do some stretches and stretch our legs out and stuff like that. That'll make things better. A lot of airlines now, they have like either in their book or on their entertainment thing, they'll have like little exercise things to do because with that long of a flight, you do want to be careful. One thing I would say is bring your own headphones you like that you can plug in so they're more comfortable for your head. Charge up all your devices. Have some extra books and extra stuff like on your device. So you can have that. You'll be surprised how fast the flight will go.
But maybe she meant first time in
Vegas. We have what to know when you go to Vegas for the first time. Don'ts of Vegas, shocks of Vegas, loves and hates of Vegas. Free things to do in Vegas. Just put Las Vegas Wolters World on YouTube and it'll pop up. Luigi, we have a lot of videos on Tokyo. Just put up Tokyo Wolters World, and that's a lot of times. If you're not sure if we have something, put the name of the city or the country, then Wolters World in YouTube, and it'll pop up if we have it. Let's see. What travel credit cards do you guys use? We have our Delta American card. Express. That's one we use mostly.
I'm planning to go to Czech, Austria, Hungary, and Slovakia with my friends. Is it safe to go there now? Yeah. There haven't been any issues there for a while. You're good.
Yeah.
We do it with our kids.
So, Shorty12341, would you suggest I fly into Venice or Milan? Not so much price-wise, city-wise. I would fly into Venice then. I mean, Milan has some sights to see. I'm not a huge fan of it, especially for tourists. It's kind of overrated. There is some cool stuff there. I'm not going to say, like, if you're going to work and live in Italy, Milan's a great place to be. But for tourists, I'd fly into Venice, start there, then start your Italian adventure.
Veronica Green, hello, Wolters family. How do you deal with the children's jet lag when you have plans or sightseeing scheduled? So first off, don't schedule sightseeing if you can help it right away. Do that, when we land, we get to our hotel. Sometimes I even book the hotel the night before so I can just get right into the room, especially if we're landing at 7, 8 o'clock in the morning. And then we go in, we put our stuff down. We all get to take an hour nap. I set an alarm so that we all have to get up, and then we go out and move around and get the blood flowing, maybe play some games, eat some lunch. Maybe it's just that first day needs to be really light. But typically going east, going ahead in time for us and for our kids is easier than going back in time when you're going west. So keep those things in mind. Use things like chocolate and caffeine and
dark
stuff. Dark chocolate.
Stimulant.
Just, look at those natural sort of stimulants to help your kids. I mean, I'm not above giving my kids a Coke as soon as we land, just because. Miss
Rhea, best Portuguese city in March is Lisbon. I mean, Lisbon and Porto are going to be your best ones to do at that time.
Well, down south might be.
Not in March. You
don't think so?
No.
Okay.
No. Because there's nobody, they don't, no locals have gone down. There's a lot of stuff's not open.
But it's warm and they're nice beaches.
Yeah, the whole country's warm,
open.
So it doesn't matter. You're going to have stuff open. So, someone was asking about going to Spain, Montenegro, or Portugal for 7 days in May. I would probably go Spain just because there's a lot more stuff to see. But if you want to see a lot of a country, I would do Montenegro or Portugal because because they're a lot smaller countries, so you can see not everything, but you can see a lot more. Because Spain, with 7 days, you can probably have to focus. You're going to do Madrid and Sevilla with maybe a stop in Cordoba and stuff like that. So, think about that.
What time is a good time to go to Italy with a middle school kid?
Anytime. They're cool with middle school kids. They're cool with kids.
Yep.
They're always happy with kids. So that's a nice thing. Let's see. Jocelyn, where do you book your hotels? Do you have a favorite site? Are you loyal to a brand?
I am not loyal to anybody when it comes to hotels, simply because a lot of those things aren't available everywhere we go. So it doesn't necessarily pay off for us in that respect. And I book hotels less and less. I'm usually booking apartments and things like that. And for that, I really like VRBO. First, I do Airbnb second or third, simply because I've had better experiences with VRBO, and those places are really set up as vacation rentals, whereas Airbnbs are often just somebody's home, and so it's not always as conducive to travel.
So, Nico, thank you very much. I appreciate the love. That's very nice of you. So, people have asked about London in November with Brexit and everything. Look, if Brexit happens, or when it happens, or whatever, basically, you as a tourist, what will affect you is basically your lines at the customs things will be longer. I mean, that's the biggest impact you'll have, but we don't know what's really going to happen. No one really knows what's going to happen. So I have tickets to the UK in February, and I'm not worried at all. And this, I mean, how many times they've pushed it back, I won't be too worried about it.
Thanks, Nader.
Yeah. Bulgaria, we'll get there eventually. We had a lot of Bulgaria questions.
Champagne Sumo, have you all ever done an RV trip?
No. I did talk to a guy. I did talk to a guy who had a Mercedes Sprinter.
That's
yesterday,
what I want.
And I asked him, I was like, so how you like that? He's like, he drives like a car. I'm like, oh, cool. And he's like, how many you can sleep there? He's like, well, my wife and I can sleep there. I'm like, oh, I got 2 kids. He's like, oh, but we can set it up so you can have like a third place to sleep. I'm like, we got 2 kids, so we might be something in the future.
They can get a hammock. Okay, so y'all, I love RV trips. When I was a kid, we used to do it, and still one of the best trips of my life. Stop making faces like that. Stop it. Stop it. I can see you. Butthead. I can still see you. Every day yourself. You guys like me best, right?
Yes. I like you best. Go on. Someone asked you a question.
Oh, Airbnb quality is really hit or miss. Lots of illegal rentals going on there as well, like all the apartments in my old building. Be careful. That's absolutely true, Rob. Yeah, there's actually a lot of issues happening with Airbnb, so I'm pretty careful about that.
Yeah, and that's why, here's the thing. What I want to tell you, that with reviews in general, places like TripAdvisor, anybody can write a review, even if they didn't stay there. So you can have, let's say I want to, Wolters Hotel. I want to give a good reviews. I tell my friends, write a 5-star review so they can have it go up higher. Mm-hmm. But the thing is, your competition can come and write bad reviews and bring it down. Mm-hmm. And so what you look at is like a Booking.com, which is only people that actually booked and stayed in that hotel. They get to write the review. Those are a little bit more realistic. I always I don't look at 5-star and I don't look at 1-star. I look at 4-star and 3-star reviews, because usually those are more discerning kind of stuff. Look, it was a good time, but the beds weren't so comfortable and stuff like that. But the thing with Airbnb is those reviews there, they don't go up unless you write it. You have to write a review and they write a review about you. So people were always scared about writing something bad, because then they'd get a bad review about them and then people wouldn't rent to them, because you get rated on there. It's like if your Uber rating's like a 3, people won't pick you up.
But they've changed that now. So
yeah, I mean
it's they'll say so-and-so's written a review. You can see it once you write yours. So it's making people be more honest, which is, that's good. We're all about honesty here, So that's good. Colette is going to Greece in April for the first time. Any tips on safety? So Colette, watch yourself in crowds. There are pickpockets and things, especially in Athens, anywhere. The bigger tips on safety for me in Greece are protests and things like that. If you see that, just, move to the edge. Go, just avoid it. There's no need for you to be in the midst of it. And it's not that they get particularly violent, but they're just big, massive groups of people and things happen. So another tip is, we Greeks like to strike sometimes, so be prepared. Have yourself a backup plan for getting around. And if you're going to drive in Greece, this is a huge one for safety. One, you have to take an international driver's license. Even being of Greek descent, I couldn't drive without an international driver's license. So there's that. But Greeks drive like rally car racers. They're kind of crazy, but stay as far right as you possibly can. If it's a 2-lane road, there will be very big shoulders. Use the shoulder almost as a lane. That's kind of your slow lane, and then the regular lane is sort of the passing lane. So if you see somebody coming up and they're on your butt, just kind of scoot yourself over into that shoulder and let them pass you. And it'll be so much easier if you do.
Dina,
don't drive in Athens.
Dina Gar, I have a friend who is African British. She's worried about racism in Eastern Europe and the Balkans. Does racism exist there? Yes, it does. It exists everywhere, but it is a bit more in Eastern Europe and the Balkans. So just have a heads up. If you feel uncomfortable, tell your friend if they do feel uncomfortable. Make sure they know to be careful with all that, okay?
John Anderson, that is so sweet. He said that his kids come over, or his grandkids come over and watch Mr. Mark and Miss Jocelyn, and it has opened their eyes.
Cool.
And
tell
I think
them we
that's
said
awesome.
hi. That's cool. Let's see. Deep Barrett. Oh, the $8,000 a month for 3 months in Norway. Yeah, you should be okay. You won't be eating out a lot, but you'll be fine.
Norway's expensive.
It's expensive. Like if you could spend that, if you had that like in Portugal, you'd live like a king. No, you'd like an emperor, like even higher. Like so, there is that. Thank you, greatest video of the Alex Invisible. I think she's super cute.
What was that?
Savapi is a food, William. Just look it up in Croatia. It's like a, I don't know how to explain it. It's like smushed together meat and like a,
Yeah.
looks like a sausage, but it's not. But it's just really good. Let's see. Would you like to? My Italian family were super emotional back when I left to live on the other side of the world. How did your family handle when you left, Mark? Okay, so when I first went abroad, I was an exchange student in Australia in high school, and my mom was kind of okay with it because it was only like a 6-week summer exchange. And I came back, and I'm like, I want to go again for a year. And she's like, no, don't. You can't go right away. Now, after a year, I got to go for a year to Finland. But like, she was like, it was hard for her at first. And then they actually, I think it was interesting because when I did my master's in Germany, and at that time the dollar was super strong, and so they started to come visit me for like 5 days for a 5-day weekend because they were both working. So it'd take a 4 or 5 day weekend, like Labor Day weekend or something like that. They'd come, and they're like, wow, this is really cool. And so they started to come a lot then. So it's not really a big thing for them now. But like Jocelyn's mom, you're taking my grandchildren to Europe. You're taking my baby away. I had words when we got married. And, we're out there like, yes, I am going to take her to Europe. We are going there. The kids are going to go there. This is how this works. So it's kind of interesting, which is funny because like her mom left her family and went to Arizona in like the 70s and 80s. I'm like, that's farther away than flying to Europe from where we are now. Like you did technically a more distant thing than there.
Okay. Can you answer that? I don't know.
Which one?
The one above Bia's.
I can't.
Okay. Because I don't know that answer either.
Yeah. Let's see.
Do you have favorite places to visit in Japan?
I really enjoy Kyoto. Tokyo was really cool, but I think we made the mistake of spending too much time in Tokyo. We love Kyoto. There's Osaka. There's a lot of other like Okinawa. There's a lot of places you can go that are going to smaller places, and because you get just the bells and whistles of Tokyo just suck you in. You're like, wait, I should have stayed more time at other places. So there is that. Let's see. Tanya, don't worry. United Airlines will be fine. I mean, you'll be okay on your flight to Vegas.
They're just not very friendly. I mean, but they'll get you there and everything will be okay.
Yeah, so it's not like you're unsafe. Like, they're a safe airline. I'm not saying anything bad that way. Just their service had really fallen. I mean, the numbers show that they're getting a little bit better, but that's, how far they fell. It's kind of hard. Like, they call it the dead cat bounce. Even a dead cat bounces. So.
Hunter Hans, 5-hour layover in JFK. What to do?
Try to get your next gate.
Cry because you're probably not going to make your flight.
No, you're joking. You're joking, but like, it's kind of a pain. JFK is kind of a pain. You're not going to go into town. So.
No, you can't leave. So, the usual stuff. Shop, eat, drink.
Yeah, probably drink some more.
There was one I wanted to answer.
Darian, buddy, good to see you. Germany Travel Personal Guide. Always a pleasure, my friend. Spaghetti Ice. That's the guy that we did the Spaghetti Ice videos for. So,
Darian's on here?
Yeah, see, Germany.
Hi, Germany Travel Personal Guide.
Do you know the Cordell region in Georgia?
Go dogs.
Yeah, she just knows.
Cordell, Georgia. I have heard of it. I have not been there.
Is it anywhere near Athens? Because we're going down.
No, it's not near Athens.
We're going to go down to Athens, Georgia. Watch a Georgia game.
Yes, we are.
So. Go dogs. Don't worry. If we go to, someone's been asked about Bulgaria videos. When we get to Bulgaria, don't worry. We will make videos when we are there. Don't you worry about that. Serena Carino, going to Switzerland in a month, pockets already crying. What city would be best recommended? Just watch your Swiss German words video. Show you. Oh man. So my favorite town My favorite is Lucerne. If you want to go do adventure tourism, Interlaken's fun. If you're going to choose between a big city, Geneva and Zurich, I'd probably go to Geneva. Just give you some like a different like French perspective of it. There is that. You can also stay in Freiburg and take a day trip over to Basel if you want to stay in Freiburg, which is cheaper, or Mulhouse in France, which is cheaper than Basel. So you can look at that. But yeah, my wallet cries for you. Aaron, TBD, where are you planning to go in 2020? So what I know so far, what we're going to be doing is Huntsville, Alabama, New Orleans, again, El Salvador, Cayman Islands, Austria, Egypt, Hungary, Slovakia, Italy, Greece. Those I know we have. You're going to go to... Oh, I'm going to London as well. Are you going to go to the Jane Austen Festival?
I'm hoping to get to the Jane Austen Festival next year. I don't know if it'll happen. I'm like relying on girlfriends for that, but we'll see. Tosh T, I was just thinking about turning the kettle on.
Oh, my
buddy. He said, you need to get a cup of tea because you're sounding a little rough this morning. It's funny because I'm the one that's worse, sicker. Is there a difference between U.S. airports and airports outside the U.S.?
Yes, U.S. airports are more focused on food, and airports like in Europe and other places are more focused on shopping. In Europe, it's more because like in the U.S. you have a lot more connecting flights between places. So you're going to like Chicago and then going someplace else, or Atlanta going someplace else. And so since you're going to have those things and the connections, it definitely is a restaurant-focused airport kind of situation in the U.S., whereas like in Europe and Asia, I felt it was much more of a shopping, duty-free, save your money this way kind of experience. I find that security in the U.S. takes a lot longer than outside the U.S. I mean, not like in Paris. That's the passport control takes forever everywhere, so there's not many difference there. But also, I think that there seem to be like more random people at U.S. airports dropping people off and stuff like that than you have at like other countries. So, and then like in Africa, for example, like a lot of places we've gone where they're checking security before you can go into the airport. So you like, let's say I want to take Caleb to the flight. Well, I can't even take him to the check-in because I'm not on the flight. So there is some differences there, but in general, it's pretty much the same. Like there's this old saying in German. It's like, ich verstehe nur Bahnhof. I only understand train stations because wherever you go, you kind of understand. Like, there's the signs, there's departures, it's going that way, just like at the airports. It's pretty similar. Carmick, the Jane Austen Festival is in Bath, England, where there's a big thing there. So it's in September, I think. Let's see. Shorty, I'm going to Ashdod and Haifa and Israel. Any tips where I should see? We're actually planning that right now because we're going later this year. So we'll have some better information to help you out later, but I don't have anything right now. I'm sorry. Dave264, do you guys ever plan to offer travel tours? Maybe one day. I've seen a lot of travel vloggers starting to do that and a lot of travel bloggers doing that because a lot of travel agencies have been reaching out to bloggers and vloggers to get groups through them. Like, look, you can travel with your group and we'll give you some money and you can do this. And we've had people offer us these things too, but we haven't really set anything up yet. Probably one day we will, but we don't have anything right now. I do actually a tour group thing with college students. So I take my students abroad to do classwork and stuff like that to help them out, to learn about marketing around the world. Or like this last summer, I taught an introduction to marketing course in Austria, so Austrian students could take it and U.S. students could take it together. So it's like a nice exchange. I'm doing another one next year for social media marketing. So there's some things I do like those things, but that's more of like student trip stuff. So a little bit different. Ooh, Pedro Portillo. That's actually a good one. So Pedro Portillo writes, will you do a video on the top 10 ways you can be a good house guest when you travel? We actually started to film that, I think, in Wales last year, and then something happened, like one of the kids fell and like cracked their head or something like that, so we stopped doing it. But yeah, that was actually when we talked about, because being a good house guest, not just if you're an Airbnb, but if you stay anywhere, I mean, it makes a big difference because we have house guests that come. Like, we have house guests that are coming today. And, they're like, hey, what could we bring? What would you like? When would you like to show up? There's little things you can do, like help with the dishes or bring a bottle of wine. I have a friend of ours here in town because we live in a university city and she worked for the university, so people would come all the time and they'd stay with her. And she's like, look, you can stay with me, but my one thing is you got to bring a bag of groceries because, she'd always cook and stuff like that. So there's things you can do. We'll put, that's actually good. We'll put something like that together. So
what, the good house guest thing?
Yeah. Closer together. What's up, girl?
Hey.
Hey. Mark Williams at Wolters wrote, I'm traveling international for the first time ever, going to London, Paris, and Brussels over 9 days. What is a must do? So I've got videos on all those places, but I would say Brussels, you only need one of those 9 days. Okay. London and Paris, I'd probably go, let's say, you got your travel days. So that's your, let's say you land in London. I'm not going to count that as one of your 3 days there because that's like a certain get back on things. Like 3 days London, 3 days Paris, plus that one day there's 7. Then you got your Brussels day 8, and you fly out on 9. So that's what I would do. The sites will be pretty straightforward. Like I've been going to these places long enough that we actually have top 10 sites for all those towns, so you can go see those. Just look up Walter's World in those towns, and you'll have plenty of information.
Yusuf. Well, we need to make a sign so that you know when not to move the doohickey.
I thought that's why you were pinching me.
No, that's why I was saying, like, wait, hold on, don't move the doohickey. I made you tea.
No comments. Yes, thank you very much for the tea.
I didn't pinch you anyway.
Yes.
Okay, Yusuf. Yes, you can see most of Helsinki in a day. You'll be able to manage the big stuff.
Yeah, the Contemporary Art Museum there, what's it called? My mind is missing it. It's really cool. It's kind of by the train station. Definitely do that. Going down to the harbor is always fun if the market's open and eating there. That's always the thing I love to do. I used to live in Finland. I live in Turku though, not Helsinki, so I didn't get there as much as I saw other parts. But it's a nice, good day city. Definitely, you'll have plenty of stuff to do for the day, especially if you're like on one of those cruises that go through the Baltics and stuff like that. It's a nice day trip. Like get off the ship and just get up, go explore. Really clean. People are nice. Have the cinnamon rolls when you're there. They're very good. You're welcome.
Going to Riga for a day on a layover to Helsinki. What's a must-see thing when I'm there?
The Occupation Museum and the Three Brothers buildings right downtown. We actually have a video on like 5 things for Riga. Just check that out. But for me, the Occupation Museum there really explains a lot of what it was like during not just the Nazis, German Nazi occupation, but also the Soviet occupation. You really learn a lot. That would be the definite one you really need to do when you're there. Terrence B, thank you, boss. Most African American friendly countries. If you're looking at Europe, I would say the UK, Germany. Those ones are pretty good. France as well. If you're looking Asia, I won't lie to you. People look at you like, oh, I remember we were in China, and like I was teaching there, and we had friends of ours who were African American professors, and they like anywhere they went, people would just stare at them.
It was so funny. It was really awkward and uncomfortable.
And so they would like start doing something. Hey, how's it going? Like they would like do stuff.
And then add in our kids, and they, many of these people are coming from small, remote villages, and they've never seen Western children like
ever
at all.
Like maybe on TV,
maybe. But they were just staring. It was funny.
Yeah. So I would say.
Yeah.
You like
UK
Europe
for sure.
UK for mm-hmm. Germany, France. So, let's see. How is the food in Japan if you don't eat seafood? The beef is amazing. You will be fine. Don't worry. If you don't eat seafood, you'll be fine. It's so clean. Like everything they make is so clean and like it's like almost like you could have McDonald's and feel like it was almost healthy. It's crazy. Like that's how clean they are with their stuff. Kiss My Turkey. Yeah, we had that.
Know that
because you probably saw the shirts.
Oh, I guess that's funny.
So yeah.
Okay, hang on. So, Radio Runt. Besides Ireland, what is the best country to visit in Europe?
Good to stipulate. Besides Ireland,
funny,
obviously. Right? For me, it really depends what you want to do. When people ask for where should I go for my first trip in Europe, and like if their ancestry is from Europe, I'm like, well, where's your family from? Because sometimes it's fun to see. Like I remember the first time I went to Germany, I'm like, my God, all these houses in Bremen, and I'm like, all these houses, they look like the houses where I'm from. And then we have a German historic district, and a lot of people came from northern Germany. I'm like, oh my God, like they built the houses that they had back home. And you start to see these kind of things. It makes it really interesting. And then when you have like, my grandma used to make chicken and noodles all the time, and now I realize she didn't make chicken noodles, she made spätzle and then put chicken in it. Like that, it was spätzle, like the German noodles. Yeah. So it was really kind of a really nice experience. And we'll meet people like, I know Jocelyn, when you went to Greece the first time, and you were in tears all the time.
I literally, there was an old yaya, a grandmother sitting on the plane next to me, and she had the window seat. It was my first time, and we're flying into Athens, and I was actually in her lap, tears running down my face, and she's just holding me and patting me and whispering sweet things to me in Greek. It was the coolest thing. So finding your ancestry would be paramount. And it depends on what time of the year you can go. Because obviously some places are better at sometimes than others.
Let's see.
Somebody asked, do you guys book your own trips or use a travel agent? We book our own. We occasionally will book things with a guide, especially if it's somewhere that we're really unsure of.
Or it's a place we really want, we really want to know a lot about.
In-depth stuff. Yeah. Like when we went to Ecuador, we could have gone to Ecuador on our own, but we chose to use a guide, and so glad we did.
Miguel was the best guy we've ever had in our entire lives. I mean, dude
he was over the top.
Yeah, this company called Southern Explorations, they had hired him. He does his own stuff, but he was one of their guides, and so they had him. But Miguel was we interviewed him. That was our first interview a guide video, because the dude was amazing.
Yeah, I wanted to take him home with us. Yeah. He was amazing. Yep. Alex Pucci.
Spätzles from all kinds of Germanic lands. It's noodles from those parts.
Alex Pucci. What? Sorry. I just finish it? I'm flying internationally for the first time from LAX to Rome via London. Is 2-hour layover enough time to get through connection at Heathrow? That's close. I would say you'd need 3.
Yeah, you should be able to make it. And the thing is, if they sold you the ticket for that and you can't get through, they have to rebook you through. So just don't like what I was telling someone earlier. When they say, "Hey, we're getting ready, we're starting our descent," that's your sign to go pee, go to the bathroom on the plane. So then when you land, you can just go. Because Heathrow, there's multiple terminals and they're kind of far apart from each other. So don't be lackadaisical. Angela, are you coming back to Scotland soon? I'll have haggis waiting for you. My mom wants to go back. I was talking about where you want to go next year, because we were just in the Shetland Islands and Edinburgh and stuff, and she's like, we met Scott that's on here. You might see him passing by sometimes, and so I'm like, well, Mom, what are we going to do? She said, well, I kind of think we should go back to the Scotland and the Shetland Islands again to find more about our family. So we will see. We'll be back. I'm not worried about that. Dave264, any bad Airbnb experiences? Would you like to start, Jocelyn?
No. They're bad.
Yeah. Well, there was the time that Jocelyn got was it a text message? Don't smoke? Yeah. We got a thing there's no smoking in the room or in the house, because we had rented a small cabin.
It's like the mother-in-law's quarters next to the main house.
The boat house of the main house. And we read the reviews online. They're very attentive. They're super attentive. They're always there for you. We should have known. Read between the lines, because Airbnb, people are don't want to get bad stuff. Anyway, we're I was working typing on my computer and stuff like that inside. And just so you know, I've never smoked a cigarette in my entire life. Okay, just to preface this. Okay. And Jocelyn gets this text message when we're on the train to Boston. Hey, smoking's not allowed in the rooms or in the room. And where she's like, well, we haven't smoked or anything like that. And then they call you, or they wrote?
No, he just wrote me and he said, no, my wife saw your. She said, my wife. He said my wife smelled smoke, and I said, well, we've been gone all day. No, it was when you were outside playing baseball with your son and your husband was inside working at his computer.
I'm like,
do.
Yeah,
it was obviously somebody was walking by at that time.
Or something. But the thing is, but here's my thing. You were in the backyard behind the houses, and I was in where I was working was the window in the front of the house. And it's that's freaking scary.
So she was going all over the place looking for, it was uncomfortable and whatever. And I did not give them a very nice review, because you know what? That was terrible.
And to stipulate, I was not smoking. I do not smoke. And
that was
I would never smoke in someone's house either.
Right. Psalm 122:6. Have you ever bought airport lounge day passes?
Yes, we have.
But we also get them sometimes for because of status stuff,
but not in the U.S.
Only get them in Europe.
Coming back from Europe, because we have high status, we can get in. Mm-hmm. I know some people get them with their credit cards. You got to check your credit cards. A lot of those credit cards are starting to zap away the free lounge access. Mm-hmm. So I have a heads up for that.
But sometimes it's worth it. It's definitely worth it on occasion. So, Marcirio,
London, Paris, Stuttgart. You want trains? Well, you have there's the Eurostar that goes from London to Paris. You're fine there. Then Paris, Stuttgart. You'll probably take the train either to Strasbourg and then over into Germany, or you might go to Frankfurt from Paris and then down. You might actually, if you're going from Paris to Stuttgart, you might look into like just getting a flight because I'm sure there's some cheap flights from there. So like EasyJet or Ryanair or something like that. So that could help you out.
Mack Trucks, do you guys prefer all-inclusive?
No.
We've stayed in an all-inclusive once.
Well, I've stayed at a few of them.
Well, you have because you have like conferences and stuff and they're booked there.
That's right.
But no, we're not all-inclusive people because you know what? It's cool you get to go to a hotel and like everybody waits on you, but you're at a hotel. You're in a resort.
You don't get to see the culture as much. It's really hard to get out.
You don't get to go out and do as much stuff, and that's just not our gig.
Tosh, are the boys still into Halloween costumes this year? Yes, they are. Liam wants to be. Well, you're working on.
I'm working on Liam's. He wants to be a piranha plant. You know from the big thingy from Super Mario Brothers, which is great because his best friend wants to be Mario.
But he already has his costume.
He does. Well, I've ordered parts of it. There isn't a costume. I have to make it. So we'll take pictures and let you know how that goes. Caleb hasn't decided on his yet. The last 2 years last year he was MC Hammer, and he had one of those big latex pig heads that was really disturbing. And I sewed him some hammer pants, like gold lame hammer pants. So he was MC Hammer. And he had a shirt that said bacon, bacon, bacon. It was pretty funny.
Yeah. Melissa Kretzer, best place for a first international trip with kids 3 and 6. I'd like Italy because the people will take care of your kids. They'll be like, small children, we will take them and show them how to make pasta while you and your special someone can have a nice meal together. I mean, it was amazing. It was fantastic.
Jasna Day, do you guys have travel insurance per flight or annually?
Per flight.
For us, it makes more sense financially to do it per flight than to do it annually. So, hospitals, traveling abroad, yes.
Yeah, we've been in a few.
Been there, done that.
I
had a baby in
I had this collarbone here almost come through my skin. That really sucked. Let's see.
Caleb, pirate eye.
Jocelyn had her pirate eye. Caleb has a huge scar on his head. You had a baby.
Ooh, I had a baby. And Liam crushed his hand in a steel and glass door in Beijing. We had to go to
not
three
on
hospitals
on the hinge side. That was really bad.
Yeah, we had to go to 3 hospitals for that. So yes, hospitals are in other countries. And here, people freak out. Like, what if something happens? I don't want to travel with my kids.
Hey, we've been to them, but we've been to the emergency room more in the U.S. than we have anywhere else.
Well, that's the truth. And it costs more in the U.S. than anywhere else. But keep in mind that there are hospitals in most places. I mean, in the Serengeti, not really a hospital in the middle of the Serengeti,
True.
But there will be one somewhere. Kilimanjaro has one. You'll be all right.
Yeah, some other ones. Deborah Devine, thank you very much for the super chat. That was very nice of you. I'm going to answer your question down here because I see that's here. I wanted to travel abroad as an older African-American female. Are there places I should avoid? I think a little bit more Eastern Europe, you might want to be a little more cautious. But if you go to like bigger cities, usually you're going to be okay. If you're looking at like Australia, New Zealand, not going to be problems, stuff like that. Central America, you should be okay. South America, you should be okay.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you have the same problems everyone else does in those places. Yeah, so I think, is there anything else?
No, I mean, I think you hit it all on the head.
Yeah.
We've taken African American students to several places, and there were a few places where,
like in Belgium, my students. Oh my god!
But
Belgium admits, Belgium,
okay.
like I remember, like in their mid 2000s, they even admitted they were like the most. They're like, yeah, we are racist. I'm like, okay. I was like, wow. But
usually it's kind of under the radar. Other people might not notice it, but you will. But it's not always in your face.
Yeah, because my students kept getting they would give a 20 and then they'd be like, oh, you only gave us a 10. I'm like, I'm sitting there with them. No, she gave you a 20. I mean, I had to report.
But that was Belgium.
That was Belgium. Like Belgium, I had to report to the police how bad some of the stuff was. Like I swore I'll taking students ever to Belgium again.
Yeah.
I've been back to Belgium for other stuff, but I would not take my students there. So, other stuff. I'm
going.
So, only betas have YouTube accounts. What countries are safest for bisexuals, men to travel? You're going to have like Scandinavia, Western Europe, U.S., Canada. That's going to be Australia, New Zealand. That's going to be your probably the safest ones for you to go to. Jimmy UK, why healthcare in the U.S. is so expensive? That's a good question, and our politicians can't figure that out either. So, pub latest. Have you ever been to India? If not, when? We're looking to go in the future. So that is on our future travel list. So we have that. Excuse me. Oh, I'm full of burps today. Bonnie Schnee, have you ever been to Cyprus? I've been to North Cyprus. I've not been to the Republic. Oh, excuse me. What's in that tea? It's like drinking Coke tea. It's like burp, 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 burp.
I don't know. I'm fine.
Yeah. Let's see.
Alex Pucci, for my 11-hour flight, it is $300 difference between economy and basic economy. Is it worth it to upgrade?
So if you can pick your seat and it depends. If you're my size, I would pay it so I can get an aisle seat. But if I'm her size, you probably don't have to worry about it. But the thing is, if you get basic economy, then you got to pay for your luggage. And if it's an 11-hour flight, you're probably going someplace far. So add on 50,
He's
60
going
bucks.
to Rome.
Oh.
LAX to Rome.
Oh.
Via Heathrow. With a 2-hour layover, I think. I think that was the question before.
Yeah.
But here's the thing. Basic economy, you're the last one to board. So the only overhead bin space you're going to get is none. Chances are you're going to need to put that stuff under your seat. So take that into consideration when you're packing. Like we always travel with a carry-on, but we check our carry-on. It may be carry-on size, but we check it most of the time. But if I was getting on basic economy and I thought I could forego the price or whatever.
Yeah. Like we've done that before when we were just like flying down to Florida to see her sister because, her sister was the same size. Shot. We have our one backpack and the kids have their little stuff. I mean, we're taking a pair of swim trunks and we're good. But that's one of those things.
Yeah.
Let's see. Lots more London stuff. Edvin, we have just put London Wolters World. You'll find plenty of tip videos for you, buddy. Don't even worry about it.
I'm a Canadian master's student.
Places.
Stop moving.
I know the question.
I was just going to finish reading it for the people out there in YouTube land.
Okay.
Living in Utrecht, by the way, love your town. What's a good place relatively close to the Netherlands for solo travel?
You can get, if you want to do, I know I just said bad stuff about Belgium, but you can get into Belgium relatively easy from Utrecht as long as the train signals don't go out. That's what happened to us.
Uh-huh.
Like Antwerp, you can get there. If you're going to go over, you can get over to Cologne pretty easily for like a Germany trip for that. And the thing is that from Utrecht, you're 25, 30 minutes from the airport. And Amsterdam, You can go anywhere.
And there's a train, a high-speed train. I think it's on Thalys from Amsterdam to Paris. Mm-hmm. And you can get there in the morning. And it's great. I've done that a couple of times.
Yeah, never met the guy. Uber drivers in London are trash. Go black taxi. Yeah, the black taxis in London are definitely a must for there. Because if anything goes wrong, they can find their way out. Whereas a lot of the Uber drivers just follow that the map, and they're like, "Dude, that's not a good way to go." And they're like, "Oh, it's what it says." So there is that.
Scott Neal, what is it with Germans and glass walls in the bathrooms?
Okay, so
I don't know.
You'll see this sometimes in some hotels where the toilet door is glass and might swing over to be the door for the shower too. And I'm like, I love my wife, but I don't know if she wants to see me doing the
I don't need to see any of that. I don't care how much I love you. I never need to be a part of that in any way, shape, or form.
So Nick asks, do you get heavily affected by the jet lag traveling from Europe to the US? Yeah, definitely get it more from from Europe to the US than from USA to Europe. So like that's why we're all still a little like slow today. We're still adjusting to get back. So there's that. Jet Fuel 12, is Budapest safe? It is significantly safer now than it was before. I mean, I was back there this summer and I was impressed how much things have gotten better. So that's really nice.
Lydia, how many days would you suggest for visiting Luxembourg? 1. Do you also suggest anywhere else besides Luxembourg City?
Yeah, there's
anywhere else.
There's some castles you can see. They're relatively close by, but yeah. Yeah. Service there. They already make a lot of money, whatever they do. So service, they don't care about you, and you can really feel it. You talk to locals that work there, and they're like, "Yeah, we don't care." So it's kind of like, Big Daddy Dirk. Yes, I've been to Arkansas. I've actually gone to some Razorbacks games over the years, way back in the day.
Go Dogs.
Well, just because I went there, but Stever, he went there.
I hope you didn't cheer for them. We might have to talk about some things.
I was a kid. I didn't know. I was young.
Ignorance. Ignorance is bliss.
Indeed.
How would you spend 2 weeks in Eastern Europe planning for a first time?
Well, it depends how you determine Eastern Europe, because that's going to cause people to get pissed off. You call like the Czech Republic Eastern Europe, but I'm always like, if I think East, I think Iron Curtain over. A great, like I would say, Central Europe trip: Prague, Krakow, Vienna, Bratislava, Budapest. That's it. There's you win right there. That's a great one. Let's see. Ever been to Panama? No, we're looking to go there though. So that's one thing. Same thing with Macedonia. We'll get there eventually. We just haven't got there yet. Other things to look at.
Do you feel safe going to Hong Kong? We haven't been there, so I don't know.
Yeah.
Can't tell you.
Mr. Mark, have you ever taken the L train? I'm not even gonna go there. Anyway.
It's Chicago. Everybody's been on the L.
Yeah, I'm sure that's what they were talking about. Babe. Anyway. Nick, how expensive really is healthcare in the U.S.? It is crazy expensive. Put people in debt. I mean, there's a reason why politicians talk about healthcare so much, because of the cost of it. So it is a very serious issue in the U.S. So the prices are way, way up there. Anyway, we've been on for an hour and 20 minutes, and we've got to get some other stuff ready because we got a day of house guests coming, so we got to finish cleaning up for them.
And I got to go make them on this.
And Caleb's got a buddy over, and we got some other kids over, and I made them get off Fortnite and the internet to do this.
We have 4 boys under the age of 13 or 13 and under that are...
they're waiting for their YouTube, their
being
Fortnite.
Really quiet.
Yes.
I'm proud of them.
We've only gotten a few death stares, so that's nice.
No, we haven't. They've been
You weren't looking. You didn't notice.
Okay.
Anyway, what else? I guess we will leave it with that. Just want to say thank you to everybody for watching our first live feed in about a month. I'm just tired, and work's been crazy this week and all kinds of fun stuff. So wish you all the best. Thank you very much for watching. Scott and everybody, I'm going to let you all enjoy your days. And
bye, Darian. Good
bye,
dogs.
Darian. Bye, Michael. Bye, Scott. Bye, Nico. Bye, Dave. Bye, Sabrina. Bye, Sam. Bye, everybody. And wish you all the best. Thank you, everybody. And we'll talk to you later. Bye.
Bye.